Greetings and welcome back. This is Iris Heath, licensed clinical professional counselor, coming to you today to talk about schizophrenia. This is actually Mental Health Month, and I want to bring something a little more difficult. Schizophrenia is a serious mental health condition that many individuals deal with, and yet it's not something that we like to talk about. And I actually started hinting to some more difficult diagnosis last week. Have you ever had a family member that people sometimes did not want to discuss what was going on with them? So, one of the things that we do refer to as it relates to schizophrenia is hearing or seeing things that others may not hear or see. Again, this makes it difficult for the individual experiencing this, and it actually is helpful for anyone experiencing such a diagnosis to actually have a good treatment team, have good support from their family, from their friends, to be able to find a good therapist and psychiatrist or nurse practitioner to help you with prescribed medications, to get on a routine and be consistent about your routine. So let's continue. I'm going to actually speak to you today from an article that I found. It's a Health Reports Spring 2019, one of those nice books you get from the doctor's office. The information is still very relevant, and I'd like to just go through it because I want to give some hope to those who may be dealing with this. So it talks about 4 things to know about living with schizophrenia. The article is by Brittany Burke, and I'll link the information in the description. Keep in mind this is for educational purposes only. So Ms. Burke begins by stating there are some key things you should know about dealing with this diagnosis. The most important one is it's going to be okay. I really love that she started the article this way because I agree. Here, 4 more things to keep in mind. And so I'm not sure if you've been with me any amount of time. I like to teach that most things are treatable, even if it's not curable. Most things are treatable. And so please keep that in mind as you're dealing with any diagnosis, whether it is mental health or physical. And so, with the right treatment team, and that's something that can either happen, I want to say miraculously the first time, or it may take you some time. But please don't give up. So I want you to hear that. Don't give up looking and trying to get to the right place at, yes, the right time. So be intentional about it. We're in that season. So I'm going to get right into the article because of time. The first is you are not alone. And so she goes on to remind us about NAMI. NAMI is stands for, it's NAMI. Please look them up. If you have any questions regarding mental health, they are definitely the go-to. We have actual a place, a location right here in Baltimore, Maryland, and yet there is a national and headquarters. But NAMI stands for National Alliance of Mental Illness, and so, excuse me, on mental illness. And so it is a place to go to get more information about your symptoms. It is, and I always say, don't use it to diagnose yourself, but use the information to help educate yourself. And even if you have basic knowledge or have been dealing with a mental illness for some time, it's helpful to keep educating yourself. Sometimes things change, and I don't mean necessarily big things, but sometimes it's the small things that change that can help you with really managing better, having more hope. And so, anytime there's an opportunity, NAMI actually gives support groups to individuals suffering from mental illness as well as their family members. There are a host of information. You can actually call them and they would be happy to speak with you about just questions, concerns, referring you to other resources. And so they are definitely a good place to start. So this statistic came from NAMI. Keep in mind, back in the 2019, not sure if it's changed a lot, but it's stating that approximately 2.4 million American adults are living with schizophrenia. And the average age of onset, which means that's when it began, the average age of onset is typically late teens to early 20s for men and late 20s and early 30s for women. Beyond that, nearly 1 in 25 adults live with the serious illness, including schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, which is also known as manic depression, and others that they have not named here. There are many disorders, and I will actually start using some of our time to bring us information on some of them. And the reason, again, is not for you to diagnose yourself, but actually for you to actually consider seeking out licensed professional help, as well as getting or looking at your treatment team. Or if you've fallen off of treatment, consider re-engaging. That's what I'm hoping to spark in you, the hope, as well as get back to your treatment if you've fallen off of treatment. With proper treatment, I've had the pleasure and honor of working with several individuals who actually have this diagnosis, and I've seen people actually do well in treatment with them being consistent with their treatment, being honest about their symptoms so that we can work together to find solutions, or at least make sure that their medication is doing its job and giving them a safe place where they can share some of their concerns and come up with adjustments that may be needed in their lifestyle. So, second thing is treatment is crucial. I just said that. I'm going to say it again. Treatment is crucial. It is very important to seek out treatment. This particular diagnosis, at least the individuals who I have walked with, do normally require prescribed medication from a licensed individual, a psychiatrist, or a nurse practitioner who has experience in this area. So I would please hear me. This is treatable. There may be times that there may be adjustments that are needed, either to your medication or to your lifestyle. There are clients who've had to change some of their routines or temporarily change some routines so that they're able to manage or better manage their symptoms. So also use mindfulness through prayer, through meditation, through things such as coloring, if that's something that you'd be willing to do. Finding some things that work for you so that you can actually help to manage your thoughts and to actually come back to a place of reality as much as possible. It is important for individuals dealing with schizophrenia to manage their stress levels So it is important for you to be able to identify what is causing you stress and to find appropriate things, including exercise, if that is something that you're able to do. There are things you can do inside your home as far as exercise is concerned. Sometimes the symptoms may cause you to want to isolate, and yet with telehealth therapy, this is a good time for you to call, reach out to your therapist, have a relationship. Some individuals may have difficulty doing telehealth through Zoom or through some type of telephone or computer, because that may actually trigger some of their symptoms, a client's symptoms. So keep that in mind. If that is happening to you, that actually can be a real thing. But please make your counselor or therapist aware of this. Don't be ashamed or afraid. This is a safe place. And if it's not a safe place, I would encourage you to find a counselor or therapist who you do feel comfortable speaking with, so that you can actually get the treatment you need and deserve to have. So the next thing is, you can absolutely live a happy life. I hope you're hearing this. So whether you were recently diagnosed or have been managing your symptoms for years, know this: a diagnosis of schizophrenia does not mean that there is a ceiling on what you can accomplish in life. That is a quote from a Dr. Michael Birnbaum. So I agree with Dr. Birnbaum. It is possible to live a happy life, have a relationship, and actually show up. And the fourth and last thing is, a healthy lifestyle can help. I hope you've heard that. So medication and regular appointments with your doctor are going to be part of your daily life, but other healthy habits should be too. So I hope you've heard: taking your prescribed medication, keeping your appointments with your psychiatrist and your therapist. Yes, both of them, not just one. Your psychiatrist is just a medication check. Your therapist is where you can talk to someone about what's going on, look at some of your coping skills, look at how you're managing your life, and even your therapist may be able to help you with your schedule and coming up with a better schedule for yourself. So I hope that this has been helpful. I know this is a little long, and yet this particular diagnosis is a more difficult one. So I wanted to spend the time to actually put this information out. There is actually a book that a client recommended. I'll try to find it and put it in the description. It's actually written by an individual sharing how to get through and manage symptoms of schizophrenia. Hope this has been helpful. Continue to be blessed, continue to be encouraged, be well, and I look forward to the next time. Continue. Please consider subscribing and liking. And also, I'm going to link my information about the new business that I am starting. Take care.